A hat reflects a person's personality. My name is Chris Cannard and I'm the owner and founder of Cannard Hats. One of the things that I really love, my customer base is very varied. I have bull riders, I have camp drafters, I have raiders, I have cattle showers, I just have people on the land. They all want a hat that reflects what they do, how they feel. That's what it's about. It's about making a custom product for those people.
Always loved hats, absolutely loved hats, and would get a belt over the head as a young kid growing up rural if you didn't go outside with a hat on. It was as simple as that. Real old bangers, hand-me-downs, and when I joined the army and got my first slouch hat, that was the first time I'd had a real proper, fitted, stylish slouch hat, and it was amazing, it really was. So for me, the process of making a hat for somebody that is going to fit really well, is going to be shaped as best I can to what they want. So they've just basically got a ready-made hat that's made for them.
To build a hat with a customer, it really requires teamwork. The reality is it is a joint effort, so I rely on their input so much. They allow me to be creative, I guess, by telling me what they want, and then I can put it together and I can suggest something that may suit a little bit more. And yeah, that's pretty good when you get it together and a customer has been with you and between yous have come up with something that really works and you nail it. That's great. You take all the beauty of a hat aside, all the other reasons for owning a hat, the thing that they do and have done for centuries is provide protection for people, and that's what my hats do.
How did you learn the craft of making hats?
YouTube.
Yeah.
It sounds really silly,
yeah,
but it was, I just got on YouTube, watched, learnt and experimented. And I look back in, to be quite honest, and to the young lady from down in New South Wales who bought my very, very first hat. She was a lovely lass. And I often wonder whether she looks back and looks at that hat and thinks, wow, that was a bit different, you know?
Yeah.
Because I was as green could be. And
well, you got to start somewhere, right?
You do.
Yeah.
And I'm not being a bullfed, but I do make a good hat now.
Yeah.
Yeah, very proud of it. It's interesting, Pete. There's the clientele I work with are primarily rural. They're horse people, cattle people, people of the land. So some of them are really comfortable in just any old banger that comes off the shelf, and they land and they've got 25 hats jammed into a box, and they come out and they're all bent and twisted and they don't care. But there is certainly people who are very, very proud of their hats, love the way a hat looks. It's part of their dress code, it's part of who they are and who they see themselves as. And so they want a hat that is symmetrical, the shape that they want will hold that shape and just looks good and smart. And you know, Pete, it's really interesting because every now and then men and women will give me a colour combination. I think, geez, that ain't going to work. But when it's a finished product, I really can't even recall, apart from pink, a hat that I really didn't like and think worked. The customer, once they've got their mind made up, they know exactly what it is they're after, and they generally nail it, you know, and all I'm doing is just helping them. Well, this hat is called the Lakeside. So the Lakeside was a variation of the box top, and I made the first Lakeside crown in 2014 before I started the business. The business started in 2015. You can do anything with the crown because they're a bowl and they're just an open canvas. But this is a Lakeside. This is your brim. That's your brim trim. Your gutters, the shape along here. You're on this particular hat, if you look at that, that's called a bareback roll. So it's kicked up, rounded at the back, or it can come down in that traditional style where it's flat or down. But the bareback roll started from the bareback riders laying back, and they had to be bang, bang, and so it became then a signature for them to have that, I'm a bareback rider, that's my hat. So that's how things start, traditions start and that. So your hat handling is critical, and I give a really strong memory to the fibre in my hats, and that's why they hold their shape and everything so long. If you sit your hat flat, the integrity of your brim is compromised all the time, and that's what I'm talking about that shape and that memory. So you either hang it or sit it flat all the time. Look, and you can throw them around, you can do whatever you want from once they're yours, but my hats will go to you like that. The other thing is I've seen people walk around and they're swinging off the gutters. They'll be carrying, like eventually you change the memory of that and you weaken it. The hardener, which I put hardener right through there, will break down. It just does, Yep. And the other worst one is if you want to really wreck your hat, give it to a 2-year-old to play with. Like they'll just put it on their head and they'll pull the gutters down and they do everything. Like these are, any good hat is an expense, it's a luxury, and you should look after it.
Do you believe that it's the hat that makes the man?
Well, I have known so many men and women. I have a terrible memory for names. I used to do a lot of drafting, particularly up in the central zone in Queensland. And I had a book and I'd go into a draft, and before I get out of a car and go round, and the way I would remember would be Mary, black hat, Joe, big gutters. So in essence, I guess they do. That's how I would remember people, by their hats.
So I guess you're going to say that I probably need to up my game just a little bit?
I think you do, Pete, and you're a man who is out in the sun a lot and you're quite fair.